Inverloch undefeated in season 2023. Tooradin+V+, just the two losses in a season and a half. An absolute clash of the Titans is on today in what could be a preview of the grand final. Welcome back to the West Gippsland Match of the Round stream, brought to you by Fairhaven Homes. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Bailey Allen. And geez, today should be a real interesting clash. There's going to be points in this game that are going to be won by either team, and it could really decide who wins the contest overall. If we're going to mention anything first, it's going to be at the stoppages. So Tooradin are going to win through getting a lot of clearances. Inverloch aren't really that explosive out the middle sort of side. They like to play a slow methodical brand, and I reckon today that Peter Wright is going to play an absolute pivotal role in this, because if he can just outbody Clinton McCorn, who, mind you, in the 3 weeks we've been watching Inverloch, geez, he has been in some terrific form, McCorn. But, anyways, going back to Pever, if he can just use his strength to outbody and fatigue McCorn all day, then I really think that's where this game is going to be won for the Seagulls, and how they can finally serve Inverloch their first defeat of the season. But, of course, Inverloch, they're not undefeated for no reason. As I said, they play a much slower brand than, I guess, a Tooradin or a Coralin of sorts, but it's going to be easier to play here in Tooradin without all of that wind blasting across the field as well. So we already know that Inverloch, they like to play that slow, uncontested mark-to-mark footy down here on the wings. So if they've got a lot less wind to affect that, then they'll have a much easier day. Keep in mind that it's not by no means a non-windy day. The trees are still blowing, as you can probably see out there on your screen, but of course Inverloch's just a different beast. Last week when we were there were kicks that started all the way out on the left behind on the full post, and they went all the way through for a goal. So it should be an interesting contest. But even if Tooradin are going to play a really fast brand, through the likes of Adams and Hill and even McCaffer at times, you can use his brute strength to push through. We can see that this Inverloch defence, which, mind you, is one of the best defences we've seen throughout the history of this West Gippsland comp, that they can really control and take the sting out of games. We saw it against Coralin last week when we were down at Inverloch. Coralin, they're such an explosive side. When you've got the Ryan Gillises, you've got the Nathan Gardners of the world, and even that game with Jimmy Monroe, who had just come out from Casey VFL duty because there was a buy on. They just put a complete stop to it in that fourth term, when really they were looking like they were going to perhaps cough that one up. But just teams out here practicing at the moment. If you want to actually wonder who I'm tipping today, it sounds funny saying that I'm calling Tooradin this, but Tooradin, the underdogs, are my tip for today. I reckon they'll win by 9. And although they haven't maybe been as dominant as they were in 2022 in terms of the margins they've won by, geez, they're still a really good team. And I think Peter Wright's up for a 3-vote performance today. But it's certainly going to be interesting to see how everything goes. So we see both teams just warming up inside 50 here. But I said that Peter Wright's going to have a big impact. Brent McCaffer's going to be strong as always. And I really think it's going to be an interesting sort of matchup between Louis Rankin and maybe someone like a Stuart Scanlon as well, who is once again having a terrific season. Kicked, I think it was the 63 goals last year. And he finished 4th in the league. And if you want to talk about goal kickers, you got Toby Marnie for Inverloch as well, and he's just having an absolutely superb year. He should get Team of the Year for 2023. If you want to actually ask who's my captain pick for that Team of the Year side at the minute, I'm actually going to go Toby Marnie. I don't think there's anyone really better in that captaincy role. Of course, you could say Cam Pedersen as well if you wanted to, but he's not really a skipper. He actually might get coach of the year now that I think of it. He's having a terrific year, Cam Pedersen, for the Bulldogs, and that's probably a matchup to keep on your eye on next week as well. Tooradin are heading down to Cows to play Phillip Island, so if they can win at home today against Inverloch Kongwak, geez, the confidence would just be oozing out of them if they were to beat the Sea Eagles today. And as for Inverloch, they've got Warrigal, Garfield, Nanagoon and Bunyip up for their next 4 games. So Nanagoon might give them a bit of trouble down at the Goon, but Bunyip, Garfield, Warrigal, they smashed Warrigal at home. Garfield are still very young, and well, Bunyip are simply Bunyip, aren't they? So that probably sounds a bit harsh, but a lot riding on this game. Has the potential to be a game of the year and could very well be a preview of the 2023 Grand Final. So it's going to be an interesting contest. If you want to talk about the ins and outs, for Tooradin+V+Inverloch, they've actually gone as an unchanged side. And as for Inverloch Kongwak, Marcus Desont comes back into the side. That gives him a lot of height, extra height in the ruck and then up forward as well. And Bailey Patterson is the outs, and I'm going to assume he might be injured or maybe on a holiday, because he actually played quite a good game last week. So if he's been dropped to the resis, which I didn't see him playing in the twos just before, but if he was dropped there, well, geez, that is very harsh. But Desont has made his return. It's going to be a good battle between him and Peaver Wright today. Of course, Peaver's probably, well, not probably, most definitely the shorter player, but Desont maybe not as strong as the big Peaver Wright. 190 centimetres is Peaver. You can go up forward and in the ruck as well. Such a versatile player, but nonetheless, here we are at Tooradin. Desont wins the hit out. Goes out towards the wing, or perhaps not. I think it was Park who tried to soccer it off the ground. Patako eventually got it to Samalis, who just smacked it on the boot going up forward. Adams was in front of it, still trying to get rid of it. Eventually got Boots a ball. And just had to really kick it into space in the end, didn't he? Here is the young Patako, and he's taking the grounds. And we'll have a ball up. So, ball up, right. Victorious this time. Only went as far as Samalis, though. Now inside 50 for Inverloch Kongwak. The ball just escaped. Trent Adams there. McKenna was a bit too slow in the reaction as well. And then Livermore. We'll see it go over the boundary line. So boundary throwing in the pocket for Inverloch. Eventually comes out through some hard contested work from Tooradin, and they try to keep it in there. And they've actually caught out on the full there, which is probably fair enough. I think it came off the boot of Duff. So now short. Centres, finds Pryor. Now, he doesn't look confident to take the shot himself here, so he's going to go a bit of a spearing kick. Marnie, good lead. So Marnie can now line up. He looks to be about maybe 35 metres out. A little bit of an angle, but he has just been on another level this year. I think he's third in goal kicking as it stands, only behind Gibson and Gardiner from Gilcunda Bass and Coralin respectively. And that's the first for the day. Marnie scores, and Inverloch get the first one of the day. So got a couple inside 50 re-entries, did Inverloch. And then it was Marnie who kicks the first goal, and we're up here in the timekeeper's box, and geez, you could hear his yell from up here. Really got up and about the skipper. So now right to Sant, won it. Tapped it along to his brother in, I think it was Oscar de Sant there. And then the ball will just roll towards the boundary line, but it's actually going to be kept in here. So McKenna, good hands, got out to Adams, and then the umpire has called it out of play. So DeSant just leapt over the top of the shorter right. Lenders went to ground, fell on top of the ball. It somehow came out in the muddy conditions though, and then it's going to be wrapped up there by DeSant. So inside 50 again for Inverloch. McCaffer just lost the handle of it. Now Samalis is tackled into the ground. Got it off eventually though. Oxley, clever. And says it was out of bounds. Jeez, I thought he kicked it before it went out of bounds there. We have a pretty good view here, but of course umpires are closer than us, so we'll just roll with it. Right, another hit out to his name. McKenna comes through, gives off the hands to Puppers. Came off the side of the boot here, but Tooradin still moving the ball well through hands. Livermore, right, has a big boot on him. Almost a turnover, but now McCaffer decides to go out to the wing. Now this is Hill. Really quick by foot is Hill, and then retreats back in Butler. He doesn't want to run another switch, and that really should have been a mark there. So dangerous times for Tooradin. Dalmore, another inside 50 entries. Bolters was just a little bit wasteful though. Oh, you could really say the same with that kick there from Proctor. So now Samalis from 50 out. Does that have the legs? No, won't have the accuracy. So Inverloch 1-1-7. Tooradin yet to score on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. And it's been a good contest so far. Just Tooradin need to be a bit more composed with ball in hands. Can't get it much further up the grounds. And about the halfway mark, McCaffer, the kick was ill-directed. Batoli Simmons to Oxley. Did a bit of a check side kick up towards the wing. Umpire calls play on. And the ball's going to be trapped under a number of players there at centre wing. So DeSant won the hit out, and the ball's just going to dribble along here. Going to be recovered by Tooradin. And then there is Adams, who's had a couple disposals already. He's been good in the back line. Ship kicks it to the wing. Finds his teammate in O'Riordan. And then Puppers. Now he's got a bit of space to play with here. He's going to go Proctor, or sorry, rather Brad Butler, who then kicks it maybe out in the full, and it's going to be a free kick going in the way of Inverloch. So Tooradin just, they look a little bit shaky, don't they? Just a bit. A couple of maybe not terrific kicks. There's prior marks uncontested, but they just need to find their composure here. Because Inverloch have certainly been clean with their ball use. As Short kicks it over the head of Samalis, made coming run for it. And we'll have a stoppage here on the boundary line, almost in centre wing position, the opposite side of the broadcast. And whistle's going to be blown here. Holding the man. Going to Inverloch. So Samalis, all cheeky. Thought about giving the hands. Eventually did. Now looking to enter inside 50. Marnie, can he take a big leap? No, the ball's going to beat him and it's going to go over the line. So we've seen that a couple times already. It's not really that skinny of a ground you'd call it here at Tooradin. Certainly wide enough as Adams Sends a high flying one down the line, and ball's going to be knocked over for another stoppage. So nearing the 8-minute mark in this contest. Tooradin+V+Inverloch, only the one inside 50. Short, spins around, chucks it into space, looking for Cumming, who took a great contested mark on two different players. Now, he can back himself in here if he wants to. He'd suspect he'd go around the corner if he wants to take it. And it looks like he's going to do that. Or maybe he'll go a banana instead, trying to see where he's holding that ball. No, he's going to run off his line, and Ship stood tall and knocked it over the goal line. So 1-2-8-0-0-0 Tooradin still looking for that first score. Kelly, the captain. Down the line kick once again. Now Lenders chasing after it. Could only really force somewhat of a dribbler. And they've kept it in as well. So Lenders still trying to get it out. And then Papa's somewhat fell on top. Desant, Bolters, Wyatt, Park, inside 50, Cumming. Now here's Thomas. Could go for the soccer if he wanted to. No, he'll hand it off to Wyatt by hands. Lost it though, so now McKenna can recover. Kick it into the middle of the ground as well. Punched by, I think that was Dorling there. Still in the middle of the ground. O'Riordan sends it into space. Does Wright have the leg speed here to beat him out? Picks it up with one hand. Turns around the corner. Looking for anyone. No, the mark couldn't be taken. And I think Scanlon's trying to get two hands on it, and the stoppage won't be called, so Inverloch Kongwak have enough time to get it out, but that's a real good effort from O'Riordan to punch it free, and eventually goes over. So that was a good passage from Tooradin. Once again, just in the contest, need to find a bit more efficiency with their targets. So ball spat out of the contest. IK kick it down the line. Here is Liam Adams. Just patiently waits, trying to find an option. Has to kick it forward, looking for Wright maybe. No, the ball's going to go to ground instead. And then a heap of players are tackled. So Wright just took out of the ruck, and that was an interesting sort of kick there. I think he was trying to go for the goals, but went straight out on the full.
Going to the sports club entrance.
So now IK have a bit of time to set up forward of the ball. Short. He's going to run a switch here. That was a big kick. Found its way all the way over to the other side of the wing and over the boundary line.
Third player today for you guys, number 11. He kicked 2 rippers from just inside 50 there this morning.
So, a lot of the ball actually going out of bounds in this quarter, I've noticed. Certainly something to keep an eye on throughout the rest of this game. There is Hams. Takes it out. Nice straight kick to White, who then plays on, looking for a teammate. Finds Thomas, who lost the ball instantaneously. Umpire still calls play on. Tooradin have recovered well here, and then someone was tackled amongst those Seagulls, and a holding the ball free kick is being paid. So Hams. Wow, that's a big kick. Someone's going to have to take a good mark here for Inverloch if they want to score a goal, but no, the ball goes to ground level instead. Tooradin+V+Inverloch have the numbers. McCaffrey in the back line. And you're seeing this IK defense here sets up so well behind the ball. Every time they're in the back line, Tooradin+V+Inverloch, they're just really struggling to find the options as Kelly went to Adams. Now to the other Adams, who found an open O'Riordan at centre wing. Plays on. Kicks it inside. Right. Couldn't take the contested mark. Now Oxley picks up the crumbs in the middle of the ground. They've got a couple inside 50 entries now. Tooradin. Scanlon tried to give a bit of a don't argue. Was a bit cheeky. Now, I think it was... I didn't actually see who had the ball there, but it was a free kick. Oh, it was Charlie Shinners, was it? And yet another stoppage over on the centre wing, far side. Just as we mentioned, Charlie Shinners, he's been included back in the side. He played last week against Bunyip after playing, I think it was the first 3 games of the year. So good to see some of the younger players back in the team. Kicks it forward. And they're going to be taken high there. Kick inside 50. They just can't really get any mark to go up forward. And Inverloch Kongwak are able to get it out again. So now Rankin, White, kicks across half back. Now short. Hams, the kick was a little bit wary though. And they've got to be clever about this, the Sea Eagles. But he's dropped the ball in bolters there. How have they still got the possession of the footy? I'm not quite sure. Scanlon running on goal, and that is not going to have the accuracy. Another out of bounds on the full kick going inside 50. So nearly 15 minutes into this first term. Tooradin+V+Inverloch yet to score 128-0 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Bolsels was running hard for it, but was outbeaten by his opponent. And it should go to ground for a stoppage there. Tim Lenders was wrapped up well. So they're now inside 50 again. Can Wright get to it in time? Not quite. So Wright and McCorn nominating as the rucks. Ball's thrown up. Wright wins it. Shinners had his kick smothered. Then White kicked it right into Wright. Pryor clean with the hands. Ball was just knocked out of IK's possession. I have IK's hands, I should say. So Wright took it out of the ruck again. It's going towards half forward. So thrown in, Wright came in with the punch. Just like I said in the pre-game show, that is where this game is going to be won, through that man in Peaver Wright. Wins plenty of headouts. It's just, I feel as if his mids have got to work for him now. They're just not getting nowhere near as much footy. And when they do have it, not as efficient as Inverloch Kongwak. As Wyatt brings over the line. So Hams, White, they might be out here now. IK kicks into the middle of the ground, looking for his man in Jordan Thomas. Outran him a little bit though. Now Samalis trying to break 3. Handballs it into space. He's got Parks there if he wants him. But no, the Tooradin pressure was real good. Eventually all comes to a stop though. There's just Park there, we see. Tooradin, McCaffer kicks out forward, really to anyone. And that was a good mark taken along the wing. And they're going to run a bit of a switch here. So here's Jarvis Pryor. He played a really good game against Ryan Gillis last week. Really held his own in that matchup. Hams to short. You can go look for Turner here. Or actually, no, I think Turner might be... I thought he was going off for a spell for a sec, but no, with the ball. And White's just faced too much pressure. So Samalis off the deck. Only went as far as Livermore. He's just going to pick it up cleanly here. Eventually got two hands on it. Went backwards to go forwards. Ship. Chucks it on the boot. I think he was looking for a read-in, but now he's in trouble because IK have the numbers out. Thomas has won a couple of disposals out here on the wing. Batako entering inside 50. McKenna read it well. All he had to do was just patiently wait for the footy to come right to his hands. And then Adams. So there hasn't been much opportunity for really either team to link up. We know IK don't really fancy that sort of footy, though. Kick down the line. Oh, Hill took a big knock there. Fell to ground instantly. McCaffer on the wing, kicks it forward. I think he was looking for Puppers, but he was knocked around. Now Dorling wants to run a switch perhaps, so he kicks it out to half back. I think that's short with it at the moment. Samalis, ball outran him. Now Adams. But the handball just went way too far. And now O'Flynn has to beat Ship here, and he's going to use the boundary line as his best friend. Just thrown in, taken out by Duff. Handballs to himself, but misread the bounce of the ball. And Park evaded one, eventually got it out. And the umpire's saying he threw it. Duff didn't really go back at all. Already had his mindset on who he was going to. A big booming kick inside 50. A score is a necessity for the Seagulls at the moment. Proctor almost good hands to it. Xavier Shinners is going to dribble across. So 21 minutes in. Tooradin still haven't scored. 1-2-8-0 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. It's been a tight one so far. And a free kick's going to be paid here out of the stoppage. And Tooradin and Dalmore are going to finally have a scoring shot. Trying to see who that is. I think it might be Liam Adams receiving the free. Liam Adams, or is that Livermore? Or Lenders? Yeah, Tim Lenders as well. The 180-centimetre forward. Casually strolls in for the first score of the day. And it's a positive result as well. Now only about down by 2 late in the first term. So 20 minutes between goals. And it is finally another one has been kicked. But this time for Tooradin+V+Inverloch, it was Marnie who kicked us off in the 2-minute mark for Inverloch. And we're back in the middle with a centre bounce. Park just came and swooped in, and then Samalis did a bit of a soccer kick there. Scott tried to fend off his opponent, was rather unsuccessful in doing so. Now Lenders is going to try the same. He did it much better though. Livermore tried to trick one and kicked it on the full. Now, to say we're in extra time now, but this is going to be a long quarter. We've had plenty of stoppages throughout this quarter. So will there be a bomb inside 50? Sure looks like it. Who's going to present? Toussaint is looming large. McKenna flew high. Bolters out the back. And I think that's McCorn who got tackled heavily there, and he'll hop straight back up and nominate himself in the ruck. Was unable to get the hit out though. Bolters. Park. Kicks it around his body. Marnie again! This time with the one hand. And he is directly in front and can go for his second. I tell you what, he is a lock for my team of the year. Forward pocket. He has been in stellar form this year. Such an entertaining player to watch is Toby Marnie.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And he's going to have no worries here. Inverloch back out to an 8-point lead.
He used his body magnificently last week for those 5. 3 of them were into the wind. Yeah.
You don't have to be 6'5" to be a key forward.
No. Well, it's proven now, hasn't it?
You've got good football smarts.
Multiple got scorers.
Use your body well.
Yes.
Football smarts.
Well, top sides, certainly.
So after the Marnie goal, we're back in the middle. 25 minutes into this first quarter. Here we go again. Inverloch probably looking the better side at the minute. Park kicks it up forward, looking for Cumming. Ball's going to go to ground, but good work from Lenders. Fought well, had enough persistence. Livermore's kick was smothered by Park, entering inside 50. And geez, that's a good mark from Ship there. O'Riordan now. He's been playing all over the ground, really, O'Riordan. Now Adams. Short chipping kick to Xavier Shinners. Down the line, needs a contested mark to be taken here. And have a look at Hill out the back. He's got enough space to work with. Did he receive a push in the back? Geez, I thought he was really unlucky not to get a free kick there. Proctor has to really just smack it in the air. And then Thomas, uncontested mark. And now Inverloch can strike. Wyatt, maybe just they'll perhaps take their time. Coming. Uncontested at centre wing. Looking for McCorn, and that is no good, that kick. 2-2-14 to 106 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. I've had a lead of 8 for majority of this game. Inverloch. Oxley. Inverloch breaking through. That's another kick that's going to go over the line. So Toussaint took it clean out. Ship almost tripped over himself there.
This side of the green is no for breeze. Everything's
So now Inverloch inside 50. Once again, can they get another major in the dying stages of this first term? Ball is thrown in. McCorn was pushed out under it. Parker, he's had a lot of the footy. Hams, he's a goal scorer. And that's another for IK. And they now lead this one by a total of 14 points.
I'll just throw it up and that'll be it.
Inverloch are just flying at the moment. Tooradin+V+Inverloch, they seem a bit shell-shocked. They like to play the slow brand on the wing, Inverloch, and they have certainly taken possession over to the wing and, taken those uncontested marks. But they're also playing a bit of explosive brand when they want to. But here we are again, inside 50 for the Sea Eagles. Ship lost it. That's got to be a free kick. He's paid holding. Okay. So Ship now with possession. And they won't get another score for the first quarter. It's going to be Inverloch going into the first break, up by 14 points. Certainly been an interesting contest so far. That was a long quarter as well, 29 minutes due to all the stoppages. And I hate to admit it, but Inverloch have just been a step above the Tooradin Footy Club at the moment. But the reigning premiers, we know they can respond. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back shortly.
I'm going all the way up. I'm going all the way up. I'm letting go in my heart of everything that holds me down. No. And it's feeling like I've been enough. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderkluster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favorite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in love. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years.
So welcome back to the West Gippsland Match of the Round stream, brought to you by Fairhaven Homes. Currently it is Inverloch Hongwack beating Tooradin+V+Inverloch by 14 points, and before we start this second term, we'll quickly take you around the ground for some scores. It's Cooey Rupp only beating Bunyip by the 6 points at the moment, 9-3. Coralline over the top of Killy Bass, 17-8 at this current point in time. Phillip Islands, no surprises here. They're beating Garfield 21-7. Oh, geez, Currumbara having a tough time against the Goon, 52-0. And Warrigal Industrials versus Dalston. We do not have a score for that one, unfortunately. But here we go again. Tooradin need a response, no doubt about that. It was a really rough first quarter for them. Batoli Simmons didn't have a lot of footy in the first quarter. Hacks it up, looked for Scanlon. And they've read it well at half back here. The IK Sea Eagles, but it was dropped there by Turner. Now Hill try to go for Adams. The ball slipped out of his grasp to Sant. McCorn to Sant. Enters inside 50. Coming uncontested. And you really have to question Ship there and what he was doing. So Cumming, who played pretty well last week. I think he had at least the one goal that I can remember from when we were at when we were down at IK against Coralline. Here he is coming. That's going to drift off across the face. Oh, geez, Marnie looked dangerous there. Still has the footy, but lost it. Now Tooradin. Hill gave it off to Adams. Turns it right over to Batako. And I tell you what, Batako has been such a fun player to watch in the games we've commentated. He's really turning into a fine young player. And a free kick's been given away. So Shinners goes off his line. Oh no, he's lost it on the ball drop there. What has happened in that instance? Batako, quick to recover, looked for Bolters, was just smacked around by McKenna, trying to fend off, lost the ball. That's holding the ball every day of the week. Good work from Bolters, who's having a pretty good season in front of goal himself. And finds Marnie. That's another thing about... Oh, sorry, not Marnie. Clinton McCorn. the big ruckman. Jeez, he's deep in the forward line for where you'd normally find him. But here is McCorn. He will run around the corner. That is going to miss everything. You rate the effort, though. And the ball's just going to be recovered here. We don't have to wait nearly as long as we did last week with all that wind. Sent near, every set shot was sent near to the netball courts, I reckon. Down at Inverloch. In the game against Coralin that we called last week. And out in the full, Tooradin once again just a little bit wasteful. So I think this is McCorn with it again. They've actually reversed the decision to go out of bounds in the full. It's now just going to be a throw-in. McCorn won the hit out. Not to advantage though. Found its way to Livermore. McCaffer hasn't really found a way to inject himself in the game just yet. Samalis. Ball smacked off McKenna, who then gave it to Patoli Simmons. Had his kick smothered by Samalis. Out of bounds. So now moving cleanly off half-back. This is probably some of the best ball movement we've seen from Tooradin yet. Hill has to beat out his opponent here. He's probably got the leg speed on him. Jukes one way and then kicks up towards full forwards. No mark. It's going to be taken this time by Butler, but he turns around and kicks it around the body. Butler goes bang. And that is by far the best passage we have seen from Tooradin Dalmore this afternoon. That was much better. It was back down at 8 points. That was the most dangerous Tooradin have looked so far. And Butler really worked hard to get his scoring opportunity as well. In the 2v1, deep inside forward 50, right. Took it cleanly out the ruck. They're going to have to work extra hard to keep this momentum up, the Gulls. This is where IK can perhaps be a little bit vulnerable. Short, slung off the ball, and then it's going to be thrown back in. So 5.5 through this second quarter. It's been an entertaining one so far. 3-2-20 plays 2-0-12. Boundary throw-in. Half forward for Tooradin Dalmore. Ball should go to ground here. It will. Umpire says give it right back. Resuming play to Sant. Went for a fly to get the hit out. Hill trying to rip it free. And I'll tell you what, there have been a couple times there where Louis Hill has looked to go on a run, and I think he's just waiting to break this game apart. Speaking of breaking it apart, here is Peaver, who tried to get to Butler, but was just a little bit out of position there. But this is much better. Seagulls are showing promising signs. A goal here would bring it back down to 2 points. Just got to find the right scoring opportunities. Thrown in, a shallow sort of boundary throw in. IK, Rankin, Hams, just smacked it into space. Can anyone take the contested mark? No. Thrown back in to Sant. Has looked really good in this second term in the ruck. You just see there, Peaver struggling a little bit with the height of Toussaint. I think if he can just use his strength, he'll be all right. So he was kicked out of the pack. Thomas was sent running for it. Scanlon, we know how dangerous he can be in the right situations. Ball still on the ground, and it's going to be trapped amongst a sea of green and red and blue, yellow and white. So now IK out the middle. Turner has to be smart with his decision here. Fends off Livermore, and then Park ducked under one, and he's going to get the free kick for high contact there. Now, uncontested on the wing is Samalis. Who goes McCorn. Spins around. Waits a while. Kicks a low one inside 50. There he is again, Toby Marnie, the skipper. And he has certainly got the distance in him here, so he'll back himself in, and he can go for goal number 3 in less than a half of footy. And this would extend it back out to 14 points if he was to kick this one. You'd say maybe about 45 metres out, maybe a little bit less, and on a incredibly tough angle, Marnie walks in, and he has got another. An absolute superstar, this man is.
That's a lovely goal. What's that, 3?
Yeah. 4, 3 to India.
Has he kicked 3?
Yeah. Tommy Hams kicked the other one.
So it's just become a little bit of a seesawing affair now. You see Tooradin kick a goal, and then it's IK getting a goal or two back, and then Tooradin kick another, and then Marnie gets his third of the day. Hill just trying to tap it to himself. And now have a look at this. O'Neill try to get it off by hands, but I think it just slips out of his grasp. Exited outside of defensive 50, but Short was there to collect the footy.
Yeah, I think yes.
And here is Short again. Such a serviceable backman for the Inverloch Kongwak Eagles. Of course, this is an important match for both teams going into the week-long break in the Westgate Gippsland Football League, as all the interleague games are on and whatnot. So they've worked it out of the contest here, Tooradin Dalmore, just to go right back into another. And holding the ball as well, real unlucky.
Playing now, number 3, who had Rowan had white line fever.
So big kick inside 50, looking for a Seagulls player. Oh, around the body, has that made it? You bet it has. Inverloch Kongwak with another. So
Nick Bolter.
the kick was from Bolters. It's hard to see who got that one in. All those players down at the opposite end of the ground to where we are as well.
Yeah.
Now back in the middle of the ground.
Sometimes it can be in your favour, and other times it can go against you.
So it should be 2 goals to Tooradin and 5 goals to Inverloch.
Yep.
So here is Short once again. Has won Bit of uncontested footy here in the second term, and then Samalis, the kick went right over the other Samalis in Joe's head, who was the premiership captain and best on grounds in the 2022 thirds flag for Inverloch Kongwak. And he has certainly been putting up a pretty good season here in the seniors as well, Joe Samalis. Desont with the fist. Oxley
He can run.
finds an uncontested man out on centre wing.
That's what Ben said.
Yeah, it's a different style of football.
Yeah,
Has to kick it down the line. Had no short options available for him. Essler tried to go up with the two hands and was unsuccessful over the boundary line again.
It's interesting when you look at guys, young with their sons and how their sons play compared to their fathers.
totally different. 9 times out of 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. One the hit out. McCaffer rips it out of the air. Kicks it inside 50. That is not going to go very far. Only to Michael Eels, who was in the team of the year in 2021 as a forward. Oh, that's an ugly kick. Oh, Rankin there to save the day. I think it was Proctor, or maybe Batoli Simmons trying to... Well, neither actually. It was, in fact, Scanlon who was trying to prove his case there. And the kick really wasn't that good. Pappers, Livermore, check side, hits the post. And probably had a bit more time there than he thought. So 2-1-13 plays 5-2-32. 14 minutes into this second term. And after starting the quarter well, you feel as if Tooradin+V+Inverloch need another response. And this free kick will be going to Trent Adams of Inverloch Kongwak. Oh, sorry, rather Tooradin+V+Inverloch. It's actually listed as a midfielder / forward at the beginning of the year, but he's found a roll down back, has Adams, Scanlon, Livermore. He's actually won a bit of the footy today, Livermore. And then Lenders turns it over. Scott, Desont, now through the middle of the grounds. Got to find the right option here. Who's this? Who would have thought? It's Marnie. But now the ball goes to ground. Cumming picks it up cleanly and then had it ripped out by McKenna. Proctor, the handball rebounded off an IK player. And then O'Neill had an open goal in front of him. And they've given it to McKenna. So that's unfortunate if you're an IK fan. That would have been a certain goal. Rankin booted it whilst mid-air. Wyatt smothered by McKenna. I tell you what, Luke McKenna is one of the only reasons Tooradin+V+Inverloch are not down by a lot more at the minute. Livermore to McCaffer, who runs through the middle. Now looking for Oxley, who's found himself up forwards, and no mark could be taken. So Hams is going to recover. McCorn patiently waits in the middle of the grounds. Thought he might have gone off quickly there, but no, he's going to take his time. Kicks it out to the wing. It's going to be a turnover. Tooradin. Now in the middle again. Tim Lenders. Kicks it forward. Looking for his man. That's a great mark. And then entering inside 50, Essler, who is now in the forward line after playing a bit of ruck. And Essler, he didn't back himself in. Oxley from about 60 out, not going to have the distance. Oh, Batoli Simmons, all he had to do was speak to Shitters. That is really unfortunate. Rankin instead will get the ball out to a teammate, who then kicks it into an open paddock and out of bounds. But wow, that was really a big opportunity that has gone missing. Essler could have had his own set shot. Oxley, I mean, that really was a pretty good kick towards goal, but Batoli, Simmons and Shinners just needed to speak to each other there, didn't they? So it goes out. Kick should have been marked by Kelly, but was bumped by his own teammate at the end of the day. Samalis, he's had a real good day, has Andrew Samalis. And then White tried to leap out with the one hand. Now Lenders with it. Kept it in play. And then Jordan Thomas, who has also played a pretty good game. He's been playing majority on the wing. Being a quality player. Park only just able to hang on to it. Faced extended pressure. Sends one up for Marnie, who didn't take it.
Bit of rain coming through. I just looking at that.
Yeah. That'd be going down your way, wouldn't it?
So boundary throw in.
I reckon we might get some here, you know.
Yeah, possibly.
If that comes into the margin, it might be a good margin to have at this point in time.
At half forward for IK. Butler.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah. Slow it down a bit.
Oh, no, I just don't think that if it rains, it's going to make it extremely difficult for Tooradin to get back into it.
So here's McKenna on the outskirts of the pack. Was able to release it. Lenders
Not out.
was caught.
We've got quite cleaner with the ball today.
Butler again. Nominated himself as ruck. And then it's going through several hands here for Tooradin. But then another re-entry inside 50 for Inverloch Kongwak. They were lucky to exit out. Now through the middle. They've just got to have the leg speed here, the Seagulls, and win the footy cleanly. And Shinners just couldn't beat anyone. McCorn, he's been real good today. Oh, intercepted well. Now this is a real opportunity here for Tooradin Dalmore. McCaffer, Livermore, faked Patako with a handball and has kicked it inside 50. And, you know, I'm just wondering there, McCaffer, why did he stop? I know there may have not been a lot of options inside 50, but that just allowed IK to come right back into where they're most comfortable, which is in defence. They've only allowed the 200 or so points this year. Oxley off the deck. That's a behind. 2-2, 14 plays, 5-2, 32 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Inching closer to time added on. Hams out of fullback for IK. That is a risky kick by Hams. Luckily, it came right off the hand of Rankin and came straight back. Like a game of ping pong almost. And the lead only sits at a margin of 18 points. But I feel it's almost as if Coralyn were presenting IK with a bigger challenge last week. And look at Desant run through the middle, then kicks it up 4. Here is Marnie. Was wondering where the ball was all day. Eventually picked it up cleanly. Takes a shot on goal and misses. So that's his first miss of the day. 3-1 for Toby Marnie. Oh, wasn't even a behind. It was actually out in the full. So Essler tried to scoop it into his own arms. And another stoppage. Not too far away from Inverloch Kongwak's half forward line. Right. Oxley. Kicks it down the line. Looking for Lenders. And out of bounds. So thrown in. Should be another stoppage almost immediately here. It's just starting to look a little bit gloomy out there towards Western Port Bay. Hopefully that doesn't come into play to a large extent. That is not what Tooradin+V+Inverloch needs at the moment. They're already struggling to get the ball moving cleanly, and I'll tell you what, the rain is not going to make that any better.
Another ball up, stoppage, yep.
The ball movement's just gone a little dead out here on the wing. Batoli Simmons just cleans the deck there. That was nice. But an ill-directed kick inside 50. They're still putting on the good forward pressure here, so they might be able to cause a turnover. Hams able to exit out for his side. Oxley came running for the footy, picked it up, then went to Proctor, who really couldn't do much of the same. Umpire calls play on. I think Proctor wanted the holding free kick. Ball rebounding into different players. There's been a couple good smothers today. And here we go again. Samalis picks it up nicely. Kicks it forward. Went to Lenders, who was tackled instantaneously.
Just under four.
McCorn try to take it out and kick it immediately out of the ruck contest. Out of bounds. Thrown in. Esler versus McCorn. Now Park with it. Umpire says bring it back.
He's been good.
Yeah, he had played well.
Very good.
Yeah,
And that kick's going to be
especially when that kick
turned over to Ship.
hit that goal. Yeah.
Centering kick. This is better. A little bit of daring ball movement, but was marked, intercepted, and read well by Batako. Puts it up forward for any of his teammates. Ship is met with pressure from Cumming. Ball rolls over.
Well done, Tosser. Great game.
So that was to Son. And then McKenna. He has been one of the best on ground. He is intercepting and reading everything so well in the back line. I said it before, he's probably the only reason why they haven't let this game go on out to a bigger margin. There is just nothing opening up for Tooradin+V+Inverloch. And then they've turned it over. A costly kick. Turner can go in on the left. And it's easy as that, really.
Well done, Will.
Will Turner has kicked a goal. And he's been a real handy role player since coming in. Finished second in the Force League BNF in 2021. And kicks his first goal of the day. And Inverloch Kongwak are now leading this one by a total of 24 points.
Teach Lachlan. Yeah, it's his nephew. So he's got a bit of that in him. Lachlan, yeah. They were all there for when his first senior game last year.
I was talking to Titch today. They only played Dalston in a practice match.
Oh, yeah.
Titch for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So back in the middle now.
He hasn't changed a lot.
Just a response from Tooradin+V+Inverloch is becoming more and more necessary by the minute. Cunning's taken a mark out on the lead and then played on and missed.
Thank God he missed.
So now 6-3-39 plays 2-2-14 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. 25-point lead for the Inverloch Kongwak Sea Eagles. Tooradin Dalmore down the line. Marked well by Eels. Swooped in for that intercept mark.
Oh, yeah.
Plays on. Another inside 50 entry for Inverloch Kongwak. They've had plenty in this quarter. Ball's going to go to ground.
Yeah, oh,
So
yeah.
thrown up. O'Flynn
Been through a few years.
gave it right back to Proctor. Now to Sont on the rebound.
His, him and his brother and
Proctor almost took a one-handed mark. Oxley kicks it up forward. That's going to go to Hams. They are setting up so well behind the ball, Inverloch Kongwak. Tooradin Dalmore, they can't move it down the ball, down the grounds. They are struggling to create any sort of link. The only time I can really think where they've had clean ball movement has been that movement through the middle before that Brad Butler goal at the 4-minute mark of this term. Since then, they've kicked 3 straight, IK. Shallow throw in. DeSont beat out Essler. And Samalis try to put it forward. Out of bounds.
He's got his name on the board.
Oh, okay.
He's the Premiership Secretary.
Oh, really?
Late 50s, early 60s.
Oh, okay.
He always reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Essler punched it out of the contest.
It's another ball.
And that could be holding the ball, but no, the umpire didn't see it. I thought he may have dragged it in there. Half forward for the Sea Eagles.
Yeah, they've done a good job with the rooms and the lights and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
DeSont punches it out. McKenna and Ship were fighting for it. Wow, Puppers came in strong there. Goes right back into congestion, the footy.
10 seconds. It's only a ball up.
Yeah, that's about all they'll get.
Yeah.
So ball up. DeSont punches it again. And there is your halftime siren. Inverloch Kongwak really could be up by more if they wanted to. But they have just been so dominant. Have really killed any ball movement Tooradin Dalmore have been able to create. And they can go into halftime with a real grin on their face. The Seagulls are going to need a lot if they want to win this one. They are down by 25 points at halftime. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back with you shortly.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in love. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in the groove. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm in love. I can feel the love. Oh yeah, it's all around me.
Winterland whisper in my ear, make my troubles all disappear.
Hey, I'm Michael Vanderklooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I've been renewed.
Welcome back to the West Gippsland Match of the Round stream, brought to you by Fairhaven Homes, and we are just about to come out of the main break. Half-time here at Tooradin+V+Inverloch, and I'm not sure if you can notice through your screen, but geez, it has got a lot darker down here. The rain is going to start rolling through at any point in time now, and that is not going to make Tooradin's task any easier, as they are currently down by a margin of 25 points in this top of the table clash, 1v2, and Inverloch are really in the prime position to hold their undefeated season at the moment. And both players or both sides rather, going over to set up. So, I mentioned in the pre-game show, I think Peter Wright needed to have a big impact today if they were going to win. And although he's had a couple hit-outs, hasn't really been able to break the game apart all that much. I think what I'd actually suggest is maybe chuck Peter Wright down at full forward and play Essler in at full-time ruck, because you're seeing Desont there, and Desont, especially towards the end of that second term, he was getting a lot of hit-outs just because of his mere height. So if you chuck Essler in there at full-time ruck for the rest of the game, I really think that it might be a bit of a closer contest at the stoppages, but I don't know, that's just my advice. Anyways, we're back underway for the second term. IK, knock it out towards the wing. Here's Turner. Oh, geez, that was clever. Bit of toe poke to himself. Kicked a goal in that second term as well. And then it was Batoli Simmons who ducked, got it out to Tooradin. Now Xavier Shinners just tripped it over himself, and then Livermore dribbles it across the ground. And a turnover for him. Wyatt, far too easy. Goes off his line. Kicks it down towards half forward. Looking for a teammate. Ship. And then coming. Crumbs. And here comes the rain. You can already see the ball starting to slip a little bit. Samalis, O'Flynn, evades one, evades two, and he's got his first now. And that makes the damage even worse for Tooradin. So that is 4 straight goals. 4 straight goals for Inverloch Kongwak within the first minute of the first term, of the third term, I should say. And they are now up by a total of 31 points. And they're really setting themselves up for a win here, Inverloch. But I'll tell you what, as we're seeing this, I'm really excited for the next Inverloch Kongwak versus Phillip Island matchup that's going to come in the last round of footy. Inverloch Kongwak beat them comfortably last time in round 2. But it's going to be a good game. And then Adams kicks it towards goals, off the grounds, and Tooradin+V+Inverloch now have one. And that was Brad Butler again. He's got 2 for the day. And it was looking like a really dire situation for Tooradin, but it's now back to 25, directly a minute after the last goal was kicked by O'Flynn. So interesting that it was so spaced in between all of the goals. And then once it starts getting rainy and really windy, all of a sudden, goals are starting to be kicked. So moving forward, right, oh my God, he put that man 6 feet under. And then goes to ground. I think that's Adams. underneath it. A bit of push and shove as well. And maybe a bit more as well, but I reckon Peter Wright would be in my top 3 least favourite people to get run over by. The man is an absolute unit. So then, IK just trying to break free here, and then off the ground. No, misses off to the right. And that was Scanlon, who hasn't been able to kick a goal today. Fairly uncharacteristic of him. Usually he'd have a couple by now. So that's a big kick down the line to Sant. Ran over by Wright, who's really starting to inflict his presence upon Inverloch Kongwak. But now they've got a couple of linking handballs here, the Sea Eagles. Entering inside 50. Marnie's got to be clean here, but no, defended well by Trent Adams. Turner tried to socket it off the deck, but was met with a bit too much pressure. Bolters, Marnie, number 4. No, he has missed the lot with that one, and you can't really blame him with this wet. Usually we're outside at most of these West Gippsland games, but I'm telling you, I'm very glad that we are not in that weather today. Boundary throw in. Oxley didn't disguise it so well, but are behind nonetheless. So McCaffer had to reach up for it, but got it. Adams. This is where they struggled throughout this game. They're going to kick it down the line. The kick wasn't great. They've kept it in play before Oscar Toussaint is able to punch it over. So ball's been retrieved. Boundary throw in. Right to Bartoli Simmons, who was slung into the ground. That's a fair free kick there. Turner can't believe it. So Bartoli Simmons plays on. Not a bad looking kick. Shinners. One of many seagulls in the long sleeves today. Ball dribbles up forward towards Bolters. And then McKenna worked really hard to get it to McCaffer, who then was caught. And now Park to Bolters, turning on the Jets. Marnie's got a one-on-one. He loves these situations. Oh, no. He's holding the hammy there. That is not good. As Lenders won that foot race. And he looks in a large amount of discomfort. He's hobbling there. You could instantly tell it was a hammy. Grabs at it immediately. This is not what they need for their season coming. Hit the deck pretty hard after going up so high for that mark. Now going forward again. Has that made it? No. And Marnie is going to be out for the rest of the day because he hasn't gone through the interchange bench. And doesn't look to be in good spirits, of course. But that is actually a really unfortunate thing to see. So now Inverloch Kongwak are going to be down a player for the rest of the game. He instantly knew he couldn't play on. Didn't go through the gates. Didn't even attempt. And you can't blame him either. So we're thinking of Marnie at the minute. But all eyes back on this as the rain continues to heave down from the sky. Kick forward, Wyatt. Put on a little bit of play for a 50 as well. kicks it into space. Can Shipper Oxley get to it? No. But I reckon if they're going to replace anyone with Marnie, I'd be going Tate Cumming to stay down there at full forward. He's a really good mark. I know it's going to be harder in the wet, but he's a pretty accurate kick on goal as well. So Papas lost it. And they're going to call for a hold on Papas as well. I thought he had plenty of time to get rid of it. And you just see the wind and the rain. It's getting really bad now. Oxley kicks out forward, gives a bit of a shove to Bolters as well, who later late hit Lenders, trying to charge his way through the contest.
Hey,
Unsuccessful.
slow you down. No, I wasn't quick. No, that's
To Son. McCaffer slipped in his palms. Dribbler across the ground. I think he was looking for Wyatt, but Bolters instead dribbles it across. This ground was already pretty muddy before the start of the rain. Uniforms are going to need a good wash today. O'Flynn sends one high into the sky. McKenna, McCaffer, Oxley. Faked out one. Kicked it forward. Punch from Essler. McCorn. Went into the hands of McCaffer, who couldn't take a mark, and that's probably justified as well. Patoli Simmons over to Peaver Wright.
that was about 3 metres.
Who kicks it looking for Livermore. Still keeping it in play here. McCaffer around the body. And ball eventually finds its home at the boundary line.
This is a test of the skill now. So he's got the skills to adapt.
Puppets came sliding through. And now the ball is going to be found in the middle. O'Neill running really hard for it. Tried to soccer it off. Didn't find much success. Bolters versus McKenna. Bolters won. And then Cumming gave it off to O'Flynn. And then tried to... Oh no, they've turned it over again, did the Seagulls. But luckily, it's going to be a throw-in the pocket.
Not sure. Yeah, throw it.
26 points the margin. 10 minutes in to this cold and rainy day. And you see all that water. Look at that. That is an absolute spectacle. All of that water has been blown across the ground. Torrential downpour. It's actually getting a little hard to see out these windows here in the timekeeper's box. So the ball gets kicked forward. Oxley is going to let it run over the boundary line.
Yeah, windscreen wiper. See, look at it now. It's blue sky.
Yeah, yeah.
Might have to come out with a ladder and give the windows a bit of a wipe at 3/4 time. So thrown back into play. I don't think Adams knew where he was going. Cumming goes for a bit of a run, kicks it in up towards Wyatt. Is that going to be paid high? No, umpire sees past it. I think Park was definitely going for the free kick there. McCorn lost it. Hams goes for goal, and that's made it as well.
Wow.
And Hams has got 2 now. And the player coach, Tom Hams, now has 1 in the dry and 1 in the wet. There you go. There's a bit of blue there. It's nice to see. Maybe the rain starting to come to a stop. I think it has actually. So a bit more of clean footy.
I think we're asking a bit much.
You can be wishful, can't you?
Of course you can.
Actually trying to see where the ball is. Very hard to see through these windows now.
I was going to say, if you open them up,
Focus.
if you open the window up, they will get blown away.
Oh, yeah, no. You and the computer will be soaking and that'll hit.
So what's the call here? Is it
On the full, was it?
on the full or yeah, okay, it is on the full. Oxley
Couldn't see.
kicks it forward. And I think one of his teammates was looking for the mark, but umpire said, give it right back here and we'll have a stoppage instead.
No, it's a bit hard to see who's what.
Hey, high.
And that's a high free kick. This one going to Inverloch Kongwak.
No, who's
That's Park, is he? On the left.
Hey,
That's Young Park, I think.
there.
Kick down the line, looking for Cumming, who couldn't take a mark.
Yeah, I thought it was out. The boundary umpire signalled it.
So just discussions here happening. As there is a rainbow you see, or you might be able to see
The one that ran
in your frame.
he said it was out. He signalled it out.
And after a bit of discussions between the boundary and the field umpire, we've gone for a boundary throw in. It's DeSont juggles it around.
Yeah,
It's actually eventually kicked out by Tooradin+V+Inverloch after they stole the footy. Only went as far as Hams, who kicked the last goal. And then McCaffer. Oxley, a bit of a strange looking kick there. Dribbled and then went up. Wyatt went to Cumming. Now Hill, Oxley. Goes to DeSont. To the other DeSont now. Turns around on the corner. And boundary throw in. And it is so hard to see it throughout these windows. In the timekeeper's box today.
Lovely rainbow.
yeah.
So thrown in. Essler taps it out with both hands. Oxley goes for a bit of a run, trying to break three. Eventually finds a home at the boundary line.
I'd rather see 10 winners with 10 million each, or even 100 winners with 1
Yeah,
million each.
yeah, yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Yes.
So ball is finally broken free out of that congestion. Oxley, who's had a bit of footy in his third term,
She said if it didn't go off, it was going to 170
goes out of bounds.
million.
What did they say? It's 1 in 134 million.
Thrown in. DeSont.
Outright on their own.
McCaffer. Ball up.
$8 ticket the bloke won it.
I know.
The Tooradin+V+Inverloch struggling to get it past this point. Who can blame him really? Oxley pushed off as he was kicking. But they've called for a throw in.
It's hard.
Yeah, just trying to through those few bubbles.
So in the wet, the ball is just bubbling around there in the congestion. and they've given away a free kick. It's going to be Ethan Park taking this one. And I was going to say he might as well take it, but Hams will instead receive it. Goes for goal. Doesn't have the distance on it, though. Can IK have anyone leak out the back? No, Tooradin definitely outnumbered the Sea Eagles in that instance. But they can probably get a re-entry here if they wanted to. But they've given away a free kick to Connor O'Riordan. Short chip kick to Livermore. Now Livermore up forward. He's short. Trying to tap to himself. And Batako pushed it over the line.
Jet lag. Apparently. Jeez, he's like his father.
And it's going to be a ball up. That's interesting when the ball was free in the open, but left confused by that decision. Park lost it. Here, Tooradin fans calling for ball. Ball eventually spits out. Lost possession did Wyatt. Now McKenna and Kelly. Intercept mark taken by Inverloch Kongwak. And I must say, if you're a Tooradin Dalmore fan, this is just really not a good result in the first half or the second half. This ball movement we've just seen right there is another intercept mark is taken, this time by O'Neill. The ball movement is just uninspiring. Now put up forward to Cumming. Couldn't get a clean handle of it. McKenna has made it work for clean possession. Now to Sant. Gave it off to Scott. Goes around the body. O'Flynn probably should have marked that, but now an opportunity opens up for Cumming, who slid around in the mud. Unlucky. Should be a re-entry here, though. Short. Flicked it up in the air. Now Pryor, who's pushed real high up the ground. There is that re-entry inside. Cumming takes flight. And Oxley crumbs just before it goes over the boundary line, but not a clever decision. Because Hams, directly in front of goal, can go for his third of the day, and he probably should, as he's most definitely got the leg on him. Now into extra time in this third term. So Hams, who has got a massive boot on him. The player coach looking for number 3. Or that might have just touched someone's hands. It did. Wasn't a bad kick. Just didn't have the height on it at the end of the day. Oxley. Out to Adams. Short. Another intercept. I would love to see the statistics at the moment and how many intercept marks there have been that have been taken by Inverloch Kongwak, especially in this third quarter. Short. Made a fool of one of the Sea Eagles and then kicks it right into the chest of Brad Butler.
We did, well, they twice, because we kicked the goal on the point, but, so we're beating twice, probably. Shit.
It's thrown in. Samalis trying to rip free. Ball at ground level. High contact. A diving sort of mark taken by the Sea Gulls, almost at the Sea Eagles. Now Shinners, the Xavier variety, kicks it out. Starting to get a bit more rain again. This time it's only light. Duff, not a great kick. Adams going inside 50 and sneaks its way over the goal line for a minor score. So scoreboard is now 3-4, 22 to 8, 6:54. Down by 30 points, Tooradin Dalmore. So Oxley, who could have taken the mark, punches it over. So the last loss Tooradin Dalmore had was in round 3. They lost to Phillip Island by 44. And now, with what is seemingly looking like it's going to be a loss here, maybe some alarm signs are starting to ring for the reigning premiers. Ball trickles across the ground to Adams. Faked out his opponent. Kicks it up forward, and that is a mark taken by, I think that's Charlie Shinners, and it is. Well, looks hesitant, but I think he will decide to go to the set shot here. And he's gone for a fairly big run-up as well. Goes off his line, launches. Oh, coming back! Has that got the legs? I think it might. No. It's been touched at the line. And the margin now sits at 29 points. But that's okay. They've got 2 scores in a row now, Tooradin, although they haven't been majors. This is positive signs. What has been not that great of a day. Coming. Have a look at Park off the interchange bench. Does it get as easy as this? I don't think it does. Crumbs. That is one of the easiest goals you'll ever see. Park off the interchange. Kicks his first of the day.
I would go as far as say he's very underrated by a lot of teams in the competition.
Yeah, but he's midfield and hard.
I reckon there's a fair few teams that don't really show that.
So now sitting at 31 points in favour of Inverloch Kongwak, who are looking unstoppable at this point. This was going to be a huge hurdle today in maintaining their undefeated 2023 season. And it's looking like they are going to leap over it with ease as we draw closer to the end of the third term. Oxley soccers it, looking for O'Riordan, eventually meets its destination. And then O'Riordan gives it a little push over the boundary.
$20 a K.
Doing work done a fair bit.
Yeah. He come through that era of Fishy when they were tough, even their juniors. Yeah, very
So right centre to centre wing. Pryor should get to this one. He does. Gives it off to Rankin. It slipped a little though. Just some more soccering occurring here. You can't really expect much from these guys. Conditions are, of course, not in good nick at the moment, you'd say. So dribbling up towards the goals for Tooradin. They've just got to take it out cleanly here, but they can't do so.
She's escaping.
Yeah, that ball's skidding through.
Yeah.
Ball up. Ball getting closer to that goal line, but it's just been exited right back out of defensive 50 by the Sea Eagles. So nearly 28 metres, 28 minutes I should say, into this third term. Just both sides trying so desperately to win at ground level. Umpire
The small
asked for the play to be killed.
Yes, very effective. Yeah, he's one of the twins.
He's very effective.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So free kick going IK to Son.
He's
Kicks it out to centre wing.
yeah.
Uncontested mark taken. Now kick down the line. And Ship there to fill the hole.
Yeah, there was a lot of that went on.
Right in the middle. Just wanting to see a bit more from Tooradin here. Some movement through the middle. There we go. Louis Hill, who is a tall character. His long limbs had the reach. Came flying through at the last minutes and took the mark. Now directly in front. 45 to 50 metres out.
That wind's dropped off.
Hill. That's going to drift right. And the car horns are still celebrating that one. Not sure if they were entirely aware that the point had been scored. So Scott off by hand now through the middle. McCorn lost the handle of it, was pushed to ground by McKenna. They've still got the numbers around the footy here. And then the soccer only went to O'Riordan. Jeez, the Son gave him a big push there and there wasn't a free kick paid.
They're not paying them.
And then here is Scott. Ball was lost. Tooradin able to get through. Oh, just got it out in the nick of time. I think that was Trent Adams. Hill pushed. And they're going to call it a hold.
I would have paid the others well before.
Yeah. Oh well,
So Hill
I'm just checking the whistle.
kicks it forward into a pack. Samalis Rankin kicked it into the stomach of another player. And then it's sent forward. Ship should get back to it in time. Or maybe the boundary line will beat him. Yeah, Ship is happy to take it over.
48 seconds. That's the sign of that one. Yeah, all good.
So this is the longest quarter we've had all day. 30 minutes. And let's see if Inverloch Kongwak can get one more before going into three-quarter time. McKenna in the ruck. Ship went to ground, sat on his knees, and gave the handball off to Lenders, who sent it out of bounds on the full.
Who's got it? Who's having it?
So here is Joe Samalis.
Dropped it anyway. Was it there? Oh, okay.
And I thought Joe Samalis was actually taking the free kick, but it's going to be Bolters. Chucks up a bit of grass in the air. A little bit of Matthew Lloyd about the young man. And he plays on from 50 metres out and hasn't striked that all well. And the ball's going to tick over for a minor score. 3-7-25 to 9-6-60.
3-4, I've got. I think that's, yep. Well done, Marcus.
So it should be 9-7.
Yep.
9-7-61.
Sorry, that's my mistake.
No, that's all right. We're only human.
This is one of the longer quarters we've seen all year, and you can't blame it, to be honest. 32 minutes this quarter's now gone for. Plenty of stoppages down in the wet. Short. Sends it up. Looking for McCorn. No mark taken. And for perhaps the final time of the quarter, it's gone over the boundary line.
Always hated that as a timekeeper when that happens.
2 seconds, yeah.
So can they create some sort of magic here? McCorn, no, didn't have enough time. And we're going to go into the final break, three-quarter time. Inverloch, they should be the comfortable winners here. They're up by 37 points, 9-7, 61 to 3-6, 24. We're going to be back shortly, and then we'll present you the fourth quarter and our post-game show.
Michael Van Klooster, but everyone knows me as Vander. I own a company called Vander Surf, and I've been making boards for 23 years. When I started, it was all hand shaping and templates off the blank, and then as CNC surfboard shaping machines came into more availability, I started designing on the laptop and designing in 3D modeling. It allows me to be creative, express, my artistic side of making surfboards. My favourite part of shaping boards is I really enjoy the interaction with the customer. I love making surfboards for other people. If I can make a board that's going to make them enjoy going surfing more, that's what I get the most joy out of.
This is a story of a community that likes to work hard, digging, fixing, building, keeping people safe, or just lending a hand. A community that all have one place to come together, where they're spoilt for choice and good service is everything. And although there are stores all over Australia, the owners are as local as they come. Totally Workwear, clothing your hard-working community.
I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm going all the way up. Ah, I'm letting go in my heart. Ah, of everything that holds me down. No, no. And it's feeling like I'm burning up. I can feel.
Welcome back to the Fairhaven Homes Match of the Round stream, brought to you by Fairhaven Homes. I can't believe I just said the sponsor twice. Well, there you go, extra promotion of Fairhaven Homes. What I should have said is welcome back to the West Gippsland Match of the Round stream, brought to you by Fairhaven Homes. And it's looking like at this point the Inverloch Kongwak are going to go 11-0 as Tooradin+V+Inverloch have just really struggled all day to put scores on the board. Been inaccurate in front of goal as well, and their ball movement's just been a little bit lackluster, you might say. I'm not saying we're used to from Tooradin, but Inverloch Kongwak have gone the better of them, and it's going to be a real mountain to climb if they to get over and back into the winning position. Tooradin+V+Inverloch, especially in this muddy, wet conditions now. The rain has cleared up now completely. Blue skies, but very muddy downstairs and on the actual ground itself, which is not looking like in great nick at the minute. Here we go. Last term. To Sant. Out to Bolters. Knocked it on his foot. Kicked it out. Almost intercepted by Ship. And then the ball should go into a stoppage here. Players congest. Umpire blows his whistle. Oh, and he's taken a big spill as well. Unlucky.
He's got like a bag of spuds. He's got the sand shoes on.
So, umpire's recovered well. Pulls it up. Sorry, Mike. I'm very sorry to the umpire for that. O'Neill goes for a bit of a run, lost it, tackled well by McCaffer, and then Tooradin+V+Inverloch able to exit outside of defensive 50, goes down the wing, short, couldn't get to it in time. So the third term was probably one of the longest quarters we've seen throughout all of our Match of the Stream so far. I think it went for 32.5 minutes, if I'm correct. So it was a very long quarter indeed, mainly due to that torrential downpour. Park kicks it off the deck. Ball just trying to make its way through hands for Tooradin+V+Inverloch, and Lender's lost it. And Descent is wrapped up as it goes out of bounds. So Descent went for a fly and got a free kick in the process. I think it may have been pushed out of it. So he'll play on with the left boot, kicks it up forward. Nobody could take it in that instance. So Oxley is there to save the day, and Crum is Hams off the grounds. Mark wasn't taken, and now the ball is found in open space. Rankin picks it up, is tackled, could be holding the ball, should really be holding the ball, and they're going to pay it. They've got to get it in there quickly whilst they've got no numbers. And Patoli Simmons, I don't get how that's not a free kick there. Patoli Simmons took a big old knock to the back. So play's been ordered to continue. Now Wyatt goes around on the right, kicks it towards goal. That's going to be Lockie Scott, who has all the time of the day to kick a major. So now 43 points is the lead for Inverloch Kongwak. So 3 goals in a row for Inverloch Kongwak, coming from Hams, Park, and now Lockie Scott. They're up by 43 points. Early days on in the fourth quarter. No one really won the hit out. Bolters put it into space. Won by Inverloch. It's met by a couple of Tooradin defenders though. And going to be holding the man, or push, in fact. Going towards the Seagulls. And they're running the switch again to the wing, but I'm not sure why. Or actually, I'll take this back. Maybe I don't. Oxley just kicked it out to the wing to Hill. But no, this is better now. They've found a bit of uncontested usage. And then Hill's trying to break free from the lockdown defence. I think it was Thomas. And then ball is called dead by the umpire. But they were running the switch there. I know that was one of the more successful switches they've run all day, but I was saying this at half time, that they needed to really run through the middle and add a bit of dare to their ball movement, because this Inverloch Kongwak zone is just so powerful and no team has been able to break through it yet. Like I said, they've only given up something like 200 to 300 points, around that sort of range, which is just incredible. So there's no point kicking it down the line over and over again if you're just going to have it intercepted, or Inverloch's going to get possession and they're going to rebound it back inside 50. It just, the inability to adapt today for Tooradin worries me a little bit. They're probably still the third best team in the competition at the moment. I'd maybe have Phillip Island just that little bit above them. So they have been playing some pretty good footy down at Cows themselves, the doggies. Of course, Inverloch Kongwak, without a doubt, in first place. Ball up. Centre wing, opposite to the broadcast side. Now, here's some ball movement on the wing by Inverloch Kongwak. Oscar Descent kicks it inside 50. Ship comes sliding through. And they switch it across. Shinners couldn't pick it up cleanly. Slipped over in the mud a little. Patako was forced to fight for possession.
When he started off earlier, yeah. Well, I mean, can you imagine?
Ball up. Little check side kick. Read well by Hams.
Yeah.
Then Hams going towards goals inside 50. And out of bounds on the full. Tooradin+V+Inverloch to regain the football.
Oh, through the middle.
So Tooradin just misread the ball there. Eventually exited outside of defensive 50 again, only to go to Park, who dropped it. Peaver soccers it. Proctor rolls over the ball. And then Peaver again is going to put it. And should be Rankin, who's able to pick it up cleanly. It's held a bit. That's got to be holding. Had a very clean handful of his jumper. Rankin eventually gets it. Yeah. That one leaves me puzzled there. There was a Proctor, oh sorry, not Proctor, rather Rankin had his jumper pulled every single day of the week. Was prevented from getting hold of the ball. I'm just not sure how that's not a free kick, but Descent went in with a fist, went over his head. Peaver collected it instead. Got his own ball back. Hams ran into an opposition defender. Or forward in this case. Tim Lenders, it was.
He's just old-fashioned, I reckon.
Yeah.
Right. Hams snapped it out of the pack. Going deep towards goals now. Rankin provided a fist. And they're so close to goal too, and they've just got to find the right one. That should be high contact. Had his head over the ball, but
Never saw it.
Scanlon probably rather a bit unlucky there. But they haven't been this close for majority of the day. Adams, can he get in there? No. Ball should be held in, and another stoppage directly in front of the goals. About 10 metres or so out. Bolters try to put it anywhere. Got it to go over the boundary line.
Daughter's partner, they got a tuber and place forget there. He said when it rains, he said you can tell anyone that comes from Gippsland on a wet ground up there because they can handle the ball.
Oh, yeah, they're used to the sandy stuff.
Yeah. He said when it gets wet and slippery, he said you can see anyone from Gippsland up there.
Yeah.
So McKenna got it out. Turnover to Turner, who held his man off from the contest. Rightfully so, a free kick's going to be paid to Livermore. So Livermore sends a high one up forward. Oh, geez, the mark was nearly taken there by Proctor. I would have been rather impressed by that one. And that is holding the ball. It was Short who went on an attempt to go on a little bit of a run and lost the ball immediately. And now Tim Lenders. So Lenders to add a bit of sparkle to what has been a dark day for Tooradin. And off to the right. 3-7-25 to 10-7-67. 7 goals the difference here at Tooradin. Body's just hitting the floor. Park dribbles it. Or sorry, rather bowls us.
There's some sore bodies here too.
42 points. Inverloch Kongwak lead by 12 minutes into the quarter. Ball just kicked into the air. It's going to be out in the full. Here at Inverloch Kongwak. Short. Oh, geez, McKenna got up there. Wasn't able to just put 2 hands on the ball, though. So ball's just bustling around there in the middle of the ground. Should be another stoppage here. There is. So Turner chasing hard for it. That goes out of bounds. Right. Smacks it out of the contest. Oxley couldn't get 2 hands to the footy on ground level. Ball up. Desont punched it out of the ruck contest. Here is Oscar Desont. Scott tried to get a clean disposal. Was unsuccessful. Holding the ball. I think that was maybe McCaffer. Oh no, I'm trying to say that is maybe Hill. Who dragged it in. So Bolters, who's been a real good player for the Sea Eagles today, puts it inside forward 50 and then a stoppage. So inside 50, balled up. It's going to go for another stoppage. And I am gaining the impression that we are going to have another very long quarter on our hands.
He said you're big 90.
So right, ball was lost by Turner.
Night out will be between the sheets.
Still trying to force it out of there, Tooradin. Eventually get it out. Pryor was there to collect it. But have a look at Tooradin here. They were looking good for a second.
Well done.
And then Shinner's lost it. Spinning out of trouble did Descent. Short. Oh, wow. That was a big crash there. Just dribbling inside forward 50 for Inverloch Kongwak before Tooradin are quickly able to get it back out. And Bartoli Simmons kicks it into another player. And the ball is then seen to go over the boundary line. But you can tell the players are just starting to feel really fatigued here. Tooradin and Dalmore especially, they've been chasing after it all day. I'd say the only time they looked really dangerous to be making impacts was after that Brad Butler goal, the 4th minute mark of the second quarter, when the margin was just 14 points. Now it sits at 42, midway through the 4th. Wright sends it high up for one of his teammates to collect. And a free kick going towards Tooradin Dalmore. Now you either take the set shot here or you find just a complete open option. I do not want to see a handball given off. Don't do it. He's done it. Lenders is given off the Shinners. And there you go. Another turnover. There was no reason to give it off by hand there. Just take the set shot. Now you've done that so many times today, Tooradin, and it is more often than not resulted in Inverloch Kongwak taking intercept mark. Patako coming.
Yeah, he's got a great,
And coming.
good pair of
A
hands.
stabbing sort of kick. Couldn't hit anyone. McKenna. Oh, wow. Big crunch there. Ball still kept alive. Even though it was hugging tight along the boundary line. So ball up. Just outside of Inverloch Kongwak's forward 50. So full in. Sent one up into the air. Intercept mark taken by the Seagulls. They're going to run a switch. Ship. Down across the line. Hill. Tried to take the mark, but then was able to create a bit of separation between him, his opposition player from it. Then Hill kicks it across. Shinners couldn't take the mark. Luckily, that is out of bounds on the full. I think that might have been by Oscar Descent. So now Livermore with it for Tooradin Dalmore. And a 50-metre penalty has been paid.
Don't know. It wasn't sort
I
of.
think Samalis looked pretty disappointed after, so maybe he didn't clear the area. I thought he had enough distance.
Oh, he's.
And then
God. Gee, that's a good 50.
I want to buy real estate off that.
Yeah, me too.
so Livermore should be able to reduce the lead back to 36. Now into extra time. Matthew Livermore. And that's a goal kick for the Seagulls.
Yeah, you'd gain probably 4 metres on either side of the boundary.
Oh, should you? 1,000 square metre block would become 1,100 metres for him selling real estate.
Yeah, but then you'd be paying land tax.
Yeah, I suppose. If you buy 100 acres, you might get 110 out of it.
So they hadn't kicked a goal since the 2-minute mark of the third term. They've only kicked 1 goal in each quarter. Tooradin+V+Inverloch, can you believe that? It was Tim Lenders first at the 22-minute mark in the first term, then Brad Butler in the 4th minute of the second, and Brad Butler again in the 2nd minute of the third. And there you go, Matthew Livermore, Tooradin's first of the 4th quarter. They're down by 36. As the ball escapes out to centre wing, and it'll be rolled over the boundary line by the Sea Eagles. So ball spits out of the congestion here. Inverloch win it. Samalis turned it over. Tooradin still forced to fight for possession of the footy. Eventually finds its way back into the hands of the Sea Eagles through Short. They should have another inside 50 entry here coming. Puts it up into the sky. Punched out by Tooradin+V+Inverloch. Park. Handballs. Doesn't really go anywhere, so Lenders gives it off to Peaver Wright, and then cuts it across the grounds to Essler, who picks up the footy. I was just about to say precisely, but perhaps not. Still putting in a real good effort to get to it, though. Slides going in for the footy, and you can't really blame him for not picking it up.
Oh, you're kidding me.
And that is being paid a free kick to Wyatt. I'm not sure what the free kick was actually for, to be honest. So now at half back, Batako has played a strong game today. He's been really consistent since coming in to the side against, I think he debuted against Warragul Industrials, if I'm correct.
Overall, 330.
23 minutes into this one. And it's going to be a good win for the Inverloch Kongwak Footy Club, as they're going to go 11-0 into the bye. Tooradin+V+Inverloch going inside. Shinners, no. Eels punches over the line, and it's now a 35-point lead. 4-8-32. Plays 10-7-67 on your Totally Workwear scoreboard. Short sends it across the wing down the line. Lenders trying to pick up the footy cleanly and couldn't quite get there. Fun fact, Brad Lenders, a week after he turned 18, he actually took 9 wickets for 29 runs off 17.4 overs for the Tooradin Cricket Club in 2014, and that's a record that still stands. So he's a pretty good cricketer as well, Brad Lenders. Not too bad of a footy player as well. Pretty handy on his best day.
He hasn't called it off. Oh, he has now.
So ball up, centre wing. And high contact. Tooradin+V+Inverloch free kick. Here is Lenders, that man we were just talking about who holds that cricketing record. McKenna. Kicks it across. Finds Adams. Or, sorry, rather Livermore. And then I think he's going to go to Proctor here, and he does. Thomas couldn't get to him in time. And then he's going to go across to Xavier Shinners. Steps around, and Papas was looking for a goal there, but the sun got in his eye. Still going in hard for it, though. Wonderful work. And then Papas does a little bit of a check side kick, and McCorn fell to his knees and took a good chest mark.
Tosser. Well, he's limping too. Jesus.
Eels. Haven't called his name too many times today. Haven't really needed to. Haven't had a whole lot of inside 50 entries against them, and Hill intercepts it there. Doesn't look like he wants to take the set shot, so he'll give it off to Lenders, and that's smothered wonderfully by Inverloch Kongwak. Bolters was looking for hams over the boundary line. But, geez, I think that's something they've really got to improve on as well, Tooradin, after the bye. Their confidence in their set shot kicking. Pointed out before that they just really don't back themselves in for the set shot. There have been so many instances in this game where a handball was given off, like, especially in that case just there. You saw Hill, who, sure, that set shot would have been real hard to take, but you give it off to Lenders, who was, you know, the same distance out on an even harder angle. There was just no point for it. So I think they've got to work on their movement in and around the goals, and if they've got a set shot available that's reasonable within their distance and within their skill, then I think they should really start making the most of their opportunities. This Park has copped a heavy knock. The free kick will be going in the way of Inverloch Kongwak as well. And can't be much time left at all. 28 minutes. They're up by 35, Inverloch Kongwak, in what has been a game that probably hasn't met the expectations of many people. I know many of us, including myself, were expecting this to be one of the games of the year, but unfortunately the wet has probably just robbed us of such quality. Oh, bit of tunnel ball with Eels. They've got an opportunity to get another goal, but no, Eels, persistence, didn't lose his confidence at all and laid a real good tackle. And time is set to expire at any second now. And there goes your siren. Inverloch Kongwak remain undefeated in a top of the table clash. They are winners by 35 points. And I said it throughout the stream multiple times. They completely dominated Tooradin. I've been commentating this league for a good year now, and I have yet to see this Tooradin Dalmore side be controlled like that, as Inverloch Kongwak continue their season in which they look like the clear flag favourites. But with that, we're going to be going into our post-game show where we're going to be discussing the votes and whatnot, and I haven't actually really given this much thought at all, to be honest. So my one vote, they've all got to be Inverloch Kongwak players. My one vote, probably going to give it to Toby Marnie. He didn't play, I don't think he played any of the second half, or maybe played a little bit of the third quarter, but even before he went off with that hamstring injury, he had 3 goals to his name and was playing some absolute superb footy. Was looking dangerous every time the ball went near him, so I'm comfortable with giving Marnie the number one, the one vote. As for 2 votes, probably. Jeez, it was just a real good team performance from Inverloch today. There wasn't really anyone that stood out. 2 votes, I might go Marcus Desant. His work in the ruck was really quite impressive, and I was really pleased with his ability to not back down against Peter Wright, although despite being taller, probably didn't have the physical strength on him, but no, his effort was really good today in the ruck. Oscar Desant. And 3 votes, I'll give 3 votes to Jeez, I've actually got no idea. Like I said, there weren't many standout performers today. Tate Cummings' work around the ground was really good. Always went up in the air or down the ground. I don't think he actually kicked the goal today, but I thought his work was really commendable and was really consistent with his work. So I'm happy to give Tate Cumming the 3. But that is all we have time for in today's Match of the Round stream, brought to you by Fairhaven Homes. Jeez, Inverloch Kongwaka they're looking brilliant, aren't they? Tooradin+V+Inverloch have some things to mull over the bye. I've been your play-by-play commentator, Bailey Allen. It was Inverloch Kongwaka beating Tooradin+V+Inverloch by 35 points, 67-32.